Alright guys, good morning. It's Thursday, February 9th. I am en route to the shop. We're going to get the heat going and get that Ford Ranger painted up. I got to wet sand some primer real quick. Hit that with some 600. Start with probably 320, 400 and end up there. I want to make sure I don't have too many scratches in it, and I'll probably put some color blender down first, or whatever you want to call it, clear base coat, so I can fill some of my scratches so I don't end up with a disaster on my hands trying to blend that stupid color. So just figure I'd give you guys a quick heads up. I'm sure you probably can't even see me or barely hear me over the power stroke, so just a little heads up, I'm on my way to the shop. So alright guys, I am at the shop and I have got my primer blocked out with 400. And I'm going to hit it with some 600 real quick. And I think I mentioned in my video the other day, I had a boo-boo with the DA and some 320 down the side. And I want to wet sand that out real quick with some 600. But the truck is pretty much scuffed and ready to go. Just got to give it a final wipe after I get done wet sanding real quick. And I'll give you a walk around. Everything's feathered out real nice. That's the driver's side. And that's my big guy right there, or the biggest damage I should say. It wasn't really big, just took the most time. So we're going to be painting a hell of a lot more than I thought I was going to be painting. I tried to keep it small, but with my experience, the spots always end up getting bigger on you. They're like gremlins, you put water on them and they grow. So at any rate, here's tailgate. That's the inside, and we're breaking it off at the seam right there. And there's the outside. She feathered out nice. So at any rate, I'll be back with you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, I'll show you how I prep these sides. Even though I've sanded them, I want to make sure that I've got everything sanded real nice. So this is a scuff gel. It says cleaner and surface preparation, gray Scotch Brite. I shook it up real good. I've already done the other side. Put a blob on there. Like Darren says, you can use Ajax, Comet, abrasive cleaner, whatever. It'll take the gloss off of your clear. I got a bucket with some what was clean water in it, but wipe it down when I'm done. So, without further ado, the other reason I'm doing this is I had some guide coat that got onto my paint, and I want to make double sure that it's gone. I don't need any black specks in my Arizona beige metallic. So it seems like everybody's been making videos about people leaving nasty comments and just generally being peckerheads. Well, I gotta say, I agree with pretty much everything I've heard. Sister had a video about it. I think Darren said something in the past. Tommy said something in the past. And it seems to be more of a newfound thing. Recently, there must be a lot of it going on. I'm kind of the newbie guy, so I haven't got any of those real crummy comments yet, but I'm certain I'm due. And you know what, guys? That kind of stuff, whatever. I just don't care. Say whatever you want. Videos are there for you to see what I'm doing, maybe learn something. If you do, fine, take it and run with it. If you don't, sorry I couldn't help you. If you don't agree with the way I do something, it's the way I do it. So, if you want to leave a comment, leave a comment. Good, bad, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. I read the comments when I get a chance. I don't always reply to everybody. I'm starting to get a little better about it. But this is the work we do here in the dungeon, and it is what it is. We do the best we can with what I've got, which ain't a whole lot. I've accumulated stuff over the years, and tools and this, that, and the other, and knowledge from other guys who are in this business, whether it be friends or YouTube acquaintances, you know. So, stuff is here for people to learn. And that's pretty much it. I mean, some days my videos end up being a video log of nothing, but who doesn't, you know? Sometimes it's just an excuse to have some company. I don't know, maybe I'm a cultural introvert. I have plenty of friends, but I also enjoy doing my thing, which is this. So, enough of that garbage. Not a whole lot else going on. I was hoping to see some snow in our forecast. They had some on the forecast for Wednesday, and that kind of petered out to nothing, which has sort of been the status quo this winter. I'm getting over a cold, trying to do my thing here. Some of you guys are probably watching this saying, holy shit, you got paper all over this vehicle and you're soaking it and making a fucking mess. Not worried about it. Never get had any problems before. I always chase around the vehicle with a blowgun before I start, and I'm probably a good, 2 hours from being ready to paint here. As far as getting the temp up in the shop, I had the heat running for a couple hours this morning. It's up to about 65, which is warm enough, but I'm not a pro, guys. I know how to fix my fuck-ups, but I try not to get them. I'd like to be able to just paint and clear a vehicle and walk away from it and not have to pull out the wet sanding paper or my DA with my finishing discs on it and the buffer and horse around with all that bullshit, but it is what it is. I guess that's what makes you better at what you do. Since you don't want to do that, you try and get better at the paint job. My problem usually is either I can't get it warm enough or I'm afraid to lay that clear on too heavy, and I always end up sanding it, which isn't a huge deal. This is kind of it's not a big job, but it's big enough where I don't want to have to screw around cutting and buffing it. But if I have it up, I will. I don't ship shit. It's going to look like it did as good as or better than when it came off the car lot new. As far as finish, smoothness to the finish. Usually my bad habit is sanding them too much, and then you have this nice flat finish on on your clear coat, because I sand the piss out of it and make it glossy. But guys, a lot of the work that I do is cars that have already been doctored. I don't do a lot of brand new collision stuff. I do some, but not a lot. And the problem is, if somebody else has been into it, chances are if it's been in a collision shop, and not all shops are this way, some do a lot better job than others. I can't be critical because I don't work there. But, long and short of it is that if it's been cut and buffed once, chances are if I'm fixing that same panel, I'm going to have to horse around and cut and buff it again, no matter how close I get it, or if the whole car's been painted before, or something like that, which tends to be the case sometimes. Sometimes I'll get one, and I've done some all-overs where, somebody dinged it or, had some damage, and then they want me to fix it because I'm familiar with it, which is great. I appreciate the work and the trust
to have me do the work. That stuff is, you know, there's a lot of companies out there that are out to make a buck, and you know what? In my business, I am too. But I don't want to see it again for something that I did. If they complain, I want them to complain it's too smooth or it's shinier than the rest of the car, or, you know, those are trivial things. I can fix those things. We'll try and get them to match with the amount of peel they have in them. I'll get better at it. But I painted a lot of single stage, and you know, base clear is new to me, but I always try and make it look the best that I can. So, at any rate, that's about it for this side, guys. I will catch up with you when I got some paint flying. All right, guys, after a long day of screwing around, trying to blend this color and a few screw-ups of my own, we're ready for some clear coat. The Ranger is ready. I got my clear sitting in its container in a bucket of warm water. I had to leave the shop for a while, and the clear was like 50 degrees. I like to warm it up a little bit. It's not a high solids clear, but it's, I guess you could consider it. It's 41%, but it's thin. You don't reduce it down or anything. So still got a couple dents that I missed. I didn't fix. There's one right up there, but the color blended in good, I think. I'll take a look at the tailgate's probably a decent one to look at. I only painted from here down and around like an inch or 2 inches on the inside. This is just a little bit of overspray into here, you know, fanned it out. You take and you pull your gun up and away as you're spraying. And I've tacked this off. The color looks good. It's funny because the corner of this truck looks like a bronze emblem for whatever reason, the way the light's hitting it here. But so does that corner. Just those fluorescent lights do some goofy stuff. But my first screw up, I put some inner coat clear down to sort of pick up my sand scratches before I started trying to blend color into this thing. And yeah, I put a soupy sagger in that bad boy right down here. You can still see, and maybe you can, where I had sanded back through that inner coat clear, stabilizing clear, whatever you want to call it, and got back to the other base coat. But yeah, I hit that with some 1000 grit and banged that out of there. And I had one more goofy spot, or a couple more goofy spots I didn't like. So basically I horsed around for the better part of an hour and a half with some 1500 grit and then a piece of Merca Aberlon 2000. I had a couple holograms. Don't ask me why. It tried to pick up some of my paint, and I know what happened. I don't know if I said it before, but we'll go back to the tailgate. So anywho, this tailgate, okay, we're looking at it like it would sit on the truck here. Oh boy, camera's not going to focus. Okay, so this truck had a cap on it at one point. Cap has a rubber weather strip on the back door that comes to here. Well, it had rubbed through it. Somebody had been into this before, and I'll tell you how I know. Somebody had some rattle can 1K clear coat on there, lacquer clear coat, because as soon as I started sanding it, I could smell it. And long and short of what happened, I was having some problems hiding my body work on that, and I guess I got a little too carried away with my solvent, putting the paint on a little heavy, and it picked that fucking edge right up. So that was my main boo-boo, and it got me one other place, and it was along the tops of these bed rails. They did the same shit. This had some lacquer clear on it, and I should have sealed the damn thing, but I didn't think it was going to bite me in the ass like that. Well, Murphy's Law says it will. So anyway, that's what took me so long in this so far. So I'll get back to you guys in a couple minutes. I'm going to try and leave this set up while I shoot some of the clear, but my fan doesn't draw real fast, and I'm letting it warm up in here now, let my clear get warmed up. I don't know if you'll even be able to see anything. I'll put you guys on, and I may not even upload it. You may not be able to see anything. It'll look like a whirlwind of overspray in here. So usually as soon as I get done with the coat, once it starts getting bad, I'll hold my breath and I'll run out the damn door if it gets too bad in here. But the humidity's low right now, so the overspray just does not go anywhere. I do have my floor wet down, and I do have a log chain hanging over my rear axle. I don't have a bunch of dirt, so I'll put you guys on the stand here, and we'll give it a shot. We'll see if it works. If it does, great. Then you'll have something to watch. So I'll get back to the end of the last coat. Alright guys, that's going to be it on this one. I'll take you for a walk around when the fog clears. I had a feeling that was going to happen, so I'm in my fresh air area right now, and I'm going to hang out till the fog clears. I'll catch you guys in a minute. Alright guys, grand finale. It is shiny. I got a little carried away after I shut the camera off and threw another coat of clear on this side. Probably shouldn't have done that. I don't have any sags yet, but we'll see what happens in the morning. Doesn't matter what it looks like tonight, it matters what it looks like when I get here in the morning. So if it's all on the floor, we'll know what happened. No good way to get a picture of this. Maybe right there. Got a reflection of a light bulb in it. But very little dirt. I gotta nib a few things out of it, but she'll be ready to ship. So at any rate, guys, I'll take you for a little walkabout back into the paint room here and show you the person responsible for painting this thing. That guy right there. Sodajet 3000 HVLP. Starting to think that maybe I want to get a 1.4 for that. That's got a 1.3 tip in it. Or maybe I want a Segola. I don't know. It seems like I had to flood the piss out of it to get it to flow out. I've only used that gun to clear. I've only used that maybe half a dozen times, and I haven't found my niche with it yet. I was using a finish line. Oh geez, DeVilbiss. Brains fried. Too many paint fumes today. I was using a finish line, and when I bought that, it had a hoser tip in it, a 1.8. So I think I bought a 1.5 for it. I was painting a lot of single stage, and it worked great for single stage, but holy shit. 1.5 on my clear in that gun. You want to talk about running it right onto the floor. It was just too much paint. So I bought a 1.3, and the 1.3 seemed like it wasn't enough. So then I thought, well, hell, maybe that's just the gun. You know, a lot of guys like those guns, and I had that gun for probably 10 years. But it's also an HVLP, and I thought about getting a SATA RP, but my pocketbook can't afford one of those. So, at any rate, I bought that HVLP Sodajet with the 1.3 tip in it, used. It lays base fine. It doesn't like the 2-to-1 base coats. You have to thin them down a little bit more, but then you gotta spray a few more coats to get your coverage. So, but for clear, it just seems like I have to really flood it. The first coat, I'm scared to death I'm gonna put it on the floor, because I have. The first time I got it, I thought it was kind of a slow gun, and I slowed way down, and I wet it up, and buddy, I wet it alright. I was spraying a bumper cover, and that shit was dripping onto the floor. So I backed off, and my first coat usually with this gun is just a touch peely, and then I absolutely pounded on the next coat. I just slowed down, back up a little farther, and it's not enough material. The gun can break it up. It's just not enough material, so I either need to put a bigger nozzle in that or choose something like a Segola or a SATA RP or something that's gonna break it up just a little bit better, because that one's just not putting out the material. There's no filter in the gun. I have a motor guard filter that I keep on it sometimes, but I decided to take it off today and see what happened, because I do have the wall-mounted motor guard filter, which it's been in one of my other videos, but I do have this, and I do have larger air hose, and I have high flow couplers too. And the compressor will put out 20 CFM, so I'm not lacking on the air part here. So we'll nib some dust turds out of it tomorrow, and I'll go upload this one for you guys. I hope it didn't get too long, but if it did, enjoy. Well, I just got home and I found a package that came in the mail today, and there they are. My YouTube Garage Gang long sleeve tee. So thanks, Andrea and Darren. Nice end to a rough day. Appreciate it, guys.